We tried for one message, people are taking it a different way. And that's, hey, I'm a supporter of the thought of the death of the author. No, I don't want anything bad to happen to the author. But you've got author intent right here, you've got audience reception over here, and in between is this gulf where intention can fall away. And I think that's this episode's a prime example of what could happen. But I'm going to put a theory to y'all. This is my main proposal for this episode. Yes, I'm here to host the episode. Of course, Sweetie Bloom ships it. Well, some folks will argue that this is an episode about belief versus science. I'm going to argue that this is more about accepting an idea and a very relatable human flaw in a pony. But to do that, we need to talk about JBS Haldane. I want that mustache. JBS Haldane, okay, you've heard of the stages of grief, perhaps? We go through a cycle of dealing with our emotions. Well, we go through a cycle of accepting ideas, too. The 4 stages of acceptance, an idea. And through the course of this episode, we're going to be filling in this list. But first, we of course have to set the stage.
Eyes over here, Spike. Oh, sorry. For this to work, it's crucial we keep our concentration totally unlocked.
It was season 1. It was funny to watch Spike get hurt.
Still is.
My eyes are over here. But actually, this scene's actually kind of important. First off, it shows a couple rules of magic. It requires concentration, not just from the caster, but from the intended target. It can be interrupted. There is a process to it. There are rules. If they're not laid out in a clear scroll that Twilight would enjoy so much, but they're there. And that's a good tool of writing. When you have the rules in your head, you can demonstrate them through action. But what is causing this distraction, I wonder?
Never mind her. She's just being Pinkie Pie. Super extra Pinkie Pie today.
Okay, yeah, there we go. The sliding scale of Pinkie Pie moods. You have regular Pinkie Pie. She's happy, she's frolicking, but then she can be super extra Pinkie Pie. Which might mean things are a little odd, but watch out. She might be a little alpha rocker. She might be alpha rocker Pinkie Pie. You gotta tread carefully. And then she might be just super bummed Pinkie Pie. There goes your day, I promise you. And of course, the final stage, run. It's really hard not to think of Who Framed Roger Rabbit with those eyes. But here we are. Pinkie is providing distraction, being a little above average. Extra Pinkie Pie today. What's going on?
The twitching means my Pinkie sense is telling me that stuff's gonna start falling. You two better duck for cover. Oh, Pinkie, it's not gonna rain. Why, there's barely even a cloud in the sky. He just said, nice catch and cross.
Stole Fluttershy's bid. How dare you, Pinkie Pie? But here, voiced by Andrea Lipman, who's a fantastic person. But here's the thing, Twilight has just been encountered with a new idea. And let's return to JBS Haldane, because we're at the first stage of accepting a new idea. This is worthless nonsense. How does Twilight react to this new information that there's this Pinkie sense? This is worthless nonsense. She dismisses it out of hand. Or both.
I decided to play as many as I can on over to Froggy Bottom Rock. Like how clouds gaze in clouds and crystal empires made of crystal.
Fire pump.
Okay, why did I combine those clips from like Perfectly Disparate Seasons 1 and 8. Well, think about it. Fluttershy is taking these to Froggy Bottom Bog. Is the bottom pure frogs? Equestria is very literal in their presentation. So if they say this is Froggy Bottom Bog, then I want to dredge the bottom of the bog. I'm sorry. I have a perverse fascination. Very perverse. I know, I'm sorry. But how's Twilight reacting to all this?
Please. Nothing else is gonna fly.
Oh no! Twilight fell! Is it safe to go help her?
It's okay. My tail stopped twitching.
La 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 la, your friend's in a ditch. Dang, Pinkie, you cold! I never knew. Oh no, there's a Twilight down in the alleyway. Oh, by the way, finders keepers. Ah, friendship, I'm undone by friendship. Well done. Well, I had to go for it. I failed. Okay, it also was kind of funny. Spike was like, this is for hitting me with the rock. I'm not going to help you out just yet. So, moving it onwards.
I know it doesn't make much sense, but those of us who've been in Ponyville a while have learned over time that if Pinkie's a twitching, you better listen.
My ears are flopping. My ears are flopping.
What does that mean?
I'll start a bath for you.
Huh? A bath? This thing keeps on getting more ridiculous by the minute.
And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, a moment of an incredible milestone in the series. This was the first appearance of Gummy. So you're all really big fans of alligators, so I'm talking to a room full of Floridians. Oh my God, I actually am. I think I'm being flippant, but I'm actually telling the truth. Okay then. This is the first appearance of Gummy in this great scene where there's, well, Twilight is being bombarded by messages. This is not just wordless nonsense. This is actually consistent. She's getting validation from other friends, trusted friends. And so we're approaching the second stage of the acceptance.
This is my pet alligator, Gummy. He's got nuts.
Okay, get it.
I get that it's trying to kill her. I get that that was trying to bite her. And from what I understand, even baby alligators without teeth, they still have some pretty crushing power in their jaws. So I guess I should be glad it's mostly sticking to the cotton candy name. I shouldn't be wondering how that tastes.
What's not to believe? You do magic. What's the difference?
Huge. For one thing,
Visual pun, one of the best of the show.
magic is something you study and practice. It only happens when you decide to do it. And it's meant to make something specific that you choose to have it happen. With you, it makes no sense at all.
That's so not true, Twilight. Sometimes it's a bunch of random things happening in my body at random times that supposedly predict the future. I call them combos.
So if she like sneezes and doesn't complete the set, is that a combo breaker? I'm hip and jiggy with it, yo. So, okay, this is a moment where I think it's kind of easy to not like Twilight because she is literally getting up on her soapbox. And I do love the visual pun with this. Okay, hi, SilverQuill, I like puns. Shocker! Shocker. But, again, we're witnessing Twilight, and I feel like she's being kind of cast in the antagonist role, but in a more hostile way. She's being very dismissive of Pinkie. But this is in character of Twilight, and no, that's not a diss. Because, again, we're moving forward towards stages of acceptance. Let's see here.
Don't believe this.
You don't believe because you don't understand.
Pondering. Honestly, I think she's more just staring at the face of madness right now. But here's the thing. This is pretty much the defining line of this episode. It says, you don't believe because you don't understand. And I think that's where a lot of people are tempted to come through and basically phrase this in the context of belief versus science, or knowing, knowledge. And we're going to see that explored. But pardon me as I readjust my computer. I just need to know where I'm going some days. Yes, we have at the second phase of acceptance, because in case it's kind of weird. Twilight is now getting repeated information on this, and so she's having what she originally dismissed is now saying, this is interesting, but perverse point of view. There's merit, but it's still wrong. We've upgraded from complete nonsense to you have my attention. And so she's going to try and explore this. But first, there's a process to this, and I'm switching gears now. We are going to talk about Stephen Fry, actor, screenwriter. All right, we got some Stephen Fry fans in here. He's from the United Kingdom. Tea and crumpets. Wait, sorry, wrong nation. But anyway, Stephen Fry, actor, screenwriter, novelist, poet, author, incredibly eloquent person. And at a debate where they were talking about political correctness, he said a line that has resonated with me in more than just that in the discussion.
I believe one of the greatest human failings is to prefer to be right than to be effective.
Not crazy about any on it, but that line, a human failing is to prefer to be right than to be effective. What are we witnessing with Twilight? Is she championing scientific study and openness to ideas? Exactly, she wants to be right. Twilight would prefer to be right. She's linked her ego to this concept, which is something that happens quite often. So, when we begin what appears to be Dr. Frankenstein's lair in the basement, I do miss the Golden Oaks, mostly because I wonder how much technology was blown up when Tira got it.
That makes no sense. Sometimes you just have to believe in things, even when you can't figure them out.
I will not believe in anything I cannot explain.
Again, let's consider this. Twilight is running tests, but if folks who remember the episode, she's really impatient. If Pinkie isn't twitching right now, then she loses interest right away. And note her phrasing, I will not believe anything I don't understand. This is Twilight preferring to be right. She's not championing the virtues of scientific study or trying to perhaps set up a control, maybe have Spike drop something and see if the twitchy tail goes off. Is this something you can anticipate in a test? Twilight is going at this with the wrong intention, worried more about whether or not she's right than if she's really being effective. Is she learning something new? Is she debunking a concept? All of which would be worthwhile studies, but not guaranteed to succeed. But it's more about she needs to be right. And let's be honest, with Twilight throughout time, we've seen her really struggle. She tends to link her ego to things. I'm Princess Celestia's student, I can't miss a report. I'm the Princess of Friendship, I have to be able to solve this problem. I'm the last standing Princess of Equestria, I have to get help. And when she couldn't get help, she was tempted to do something that in other contexts I don't think she'd ever try. Remember stealing the pearl, right? That pearl Twilight? Throughout the series, I think this has been a very consistent aspect of her character. She really invests her sense of self in something outside of her. And is worried if she doesn't live up, that she will be diminished. I think that's going on here. Whereas hostile as she might appear, I think she's a little worried because she can't explain it. Dang, Pinkie, you triple cold. Now I will say, I think Twilight's feeling very much lost a sense of self because she's suddenly two-dimensional. What just happened there? But, so Twilight takes an alternate approach. She's going to track Pinkie in the wild. Oh yes, let me see them doom flags, because we know what's coming. That's right. Doom spice, not saying holy guacamole. I kind of missed that one because I think that's the first time anyone ever said holy in this show. Blessed guacamole. Hey, I've been to some really good restaurants where I would say that. Yeah, Pickles Bar, right by the baseball stadium. Good guac. But here's why she says she's trying to gather evidence, but note that she's already approaching this from Pinkie's wrong. So her study is already somewhat tainted because her personal opinion is blocking her possibilities. Again, needing to be right rather than effective. What keeps happening?
The Captain we're here, remember? Someone's gonna fall! Someone's gonna fall! Honestly, you're overreacting.
Pinkie sense, derpy. And I'm fully allergic. It's wonderful, right? This is what part makes it fun. And I can't lie. I don't honestly probably get hurt, and yet I'm laughing. If only for that, if only to hammer that point on an anvil. But here's the thing. This, again, I think is why people had a little wariness when it came to the concept of belief versus knowing. Facts versus unsubstantiated, or trust. This is what I call punishing the skeptic, because it's not enough to demonstrate that there's some sort of relation. Twilight has to suffer at every step. It's almost like punishing someone for wrongness. And here's the thing. So much in our culture, in a lot of books, versus speaking, a lot of books I've read, a lot of movies I've seen, it's never enough that a character is wrong. They have to suffer for the audience to feel better about it. And I think that sort of hardwires us. We start to look at everything in terms of verses, because that's what we've seen before. But with this episode, I really do continue to think it's more of the whole right versus effective. And Twilight's still moving towards accepting these ideas, and it's kind of a difficult process. I'm going to hold on this picture for just a few more seconds. And yeah, let's face it, we learned from Tom and Jerry, if it looks like it hurts, it is kind of funny. I mean, look at those expressions, look at the impact. It's rubbery, but you can tell there's force behind it. You can feel the pain. And so when we laugh, it's kind of a release of tension. It's like, oh my God, that was real loud. Why are they laughing? So, John Freud indeed. Nothing at all. I have known nothing about that with my videos on my 60-second trilogy. So, Twilight naturally is not having a good day. She's not feeling very happy, and I'm sure Pinkie's laughter isn't helping. Okay. She's got to explode. Okay, remember when I said there was the Pinkie sense of run? I think we're at that stage now. So, what was that?
Whatever that shot is about, it's a doozy. Something you never expect to happen is gonna happen. And it's gonna happen at Frog Bottom.
I'll take my baby by shaking, not stuffing. But here's the thing. Did we just suddenly get an upgrade in Pinkie's sense? She just listed a location, an outcome, and a time frame. And what happened to unpredictable things that supposedly predict the future? That is hyper-prediction. What the heck just happened? She got a massive upgrade all of a sudden. And yet, I gotta admit, I'm so entertained by Pinkie shaking and the animation they put into it. I need to go back and watch more, but I get the sense that in seasons 1 and 2, the characters were a bit more rubbery. They bounced more with their expressions. Or a little more slapstick. As it went on, we got a little bit more serious. Why aren't you taking this super serial, y'all? So, where are they up to?
I'm trying not to think about it. Me too. But I'm thinking about it anyway. Like, what if she exploded? Just exploded for no reason? Yeah, like, boom!
Whoa.
I know.
What if she exploded and then exploded again?
Can you do that? Can you explode twice?
Okay, to answer that question, I'd just like to point out that Josh Scorcher's in the audience. You've got many names. It's really hard. But if you ask can someone explode twice, it depends how many puns I tell. Just ask him. So yes, in fact, I think in your review you talked about going back and forth, explode and explode again. It's like they kind of had some special brownies beforehand and just started talking things out.
Well, actually, you can explode twice, because who here has heard of a figure called Segata Sanshiro? He has literally thrown a person at a mountain, and it exploded twice. So, yes, it is scientifically proven via video games.
Throwing people into mountains, the peak of scientific study. So, continuing with our ponies and their adventure into strangely specific scenarios.
You know it's not nice to look, but I told you there was nothing to worry about. I was right.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna start waving this now. Doom upon us all. Also, a big shout out, I got this as a gift from the Princess Big Macintosh. You people totally get me. So, I will not challenge that right now because of the good vibes. But yeah, we've got a little situation. Also, I'm pretty sure whatever bug is on that Slytherin thing, probably going.
I see it, but I don't believe it.
So, yeah, Froggy Bottom Bog, Hydras. Hydras, these grand mythical figures, and funny enough, I'm not even sure if the staff were aware when they chose this creature to thread the ponies. They tapped into something very deep in our own psychology. Because what does a Hydra represent? They have Hydra. Okay, there is no decapitation in this children's cartoon, but the idea of the Hydra is cut off one head to grow back. Although, don't cut off the head that's second from the Hydra's right. That's the funny one. It's like the middle head on King Ghidorah. Leave it alone. All right, but where did the idea of a Hydra come from? Well, here's a theory. I mean, no one went back in time and asked yet. But first off, you've seen how a waterway can branch out into tributaries and it can spread, going from one body to many. There's an idea. But here's why it's a perfect foil for Twilight in this episode. Hydra problem. Trying to fix a singular problem, it generates many more. The harder she's railed against Pinkie since she's gotten beaten up, mashed, piano drop, you've been awesome, and you've been awesome, Pegasus. And so things keep spreading. And why does it keep going wrong? Because she's still trying so hard to be right. What is this? What is this? I've been hourglassed. So you tell me I've got 5 minutes left? Okay, good. I've been worried there for a second. No. Actually, we get ahead of the AV team, they're doing a great job. Here's the final thing that a Hydra represents in fiction. It's a term that we often assign to it. Come back here. An immortal, recurring device. It's a problem that you just can't instantly cut off and call it done. What I said earlier, Twilight suffers from this problem throughout the whole series of linking her ego to something outside of her and being worried that she's diminished and she's not successful. This is a problem that keeps coming up. This episode is a very strong microcosm of that idea. So how fitting that she faces a creature that is a immortal, recurring vice. And how fitting that it wants to eat her. Which brings us back to J.B.S. Haldane and his stages of acceptance. We are at number 3. This is true, but quite unimportant. Why is it unimportant? Because there's a Hydra trying to eat you. Now is not the time for I told you so, so you've been saying I believe now. This is the time for run! Run away! Run away! Keep running! And so they run. Okay, there's a couple things I love about this. One, in that moment, Twilight's kind of been the antagonist, but the person we're not really meant to empathize with, right? She's been very proud, very haughty. Pinkie is advocating to believe in things you don't understand, but in this moment where she predicted that something would go wrong, she's paralyzed with fear. Maybe that belief is actually working against her in this instance. And here's Twilight, seeing a friend in danger, rushes back to save her. So suddenly the roles are switching. We're getting a little bit more positivity flowing back into Twilight, which I enjoy. Also, just look at this shot. Look at how tall this creature is against the trees. We just saw the ponies framed against those trees, so we know sort of a sense of proportion. You talk about My Little Pony, this really drives home their vulnerability. And while, later on Spike is going to get stuck in the muck, this thing is just walking through it no problem. This is fantastic in terms of establishing the vulnerability. You feel the danger. And that's why I love it.
Hop, skip, and jump.
I'm silver, this is gold. So, feel free to sing it. But, so, here we go, that wonderful moment of continuity. When I talked earlier about establishing rules, there have been some rules we've seen about teleporting well before Starlight gave Trixie lectures in it. Stop making teacups. We're good on teacups. Teleporting. Twilight we've often seen, especially in these early seasons, it requires her to stop and think about things for a minute. It has to teleport. When she's running away in the Ticketmaster and she teleports, she's frazzled on the other end. It looks like it's actually put her through the ringer. She needs focus and control, and she's trying to practice to make it sort of a secondary reflex. It's like when you start a task that's very physical, you have to talk yourself through the motions, but in time you learn a rhythm. And once you know that rhythm, you can do it a lot faster. We've seen Twilight's teleportation strength grow with this series, but right here in this season 1, this is not something she can just do in an instant, and she's terrified of, again, this creature. But I think they did a very effective job making it intimidating. And fun.
I just wanted to add that this is one of Twilight's biggest vices, is when she's in peril, when she's stressed, she can't think. When she can't think, she can't do magic. And we saw that when Fluttershy was being fluttered by the Cereal Mall in the Nightmare Night episode, that then she got stuck in the web. She could have teleported them all out of the web, but she was terrified, so she couldn't think, so she couldn't do that. So she had to revert to just doing it Earth Pony style. That's, if you look through the episodes, she's always had that, all the way from season 1.
Well said. Although, I'm sorry, I'm snark aside, you can't let this go. Well, Earth Pony style. But here's the, so we're at the moment of faith, and I don't know if Twilight is saying this is unimportant, but really, there's no time to think about it. So, off she goes into the wild blue yonder. Entertainment where I really feel like that no was appropriate. Sorry, Darth Vader, that's to you, Shia LaBeouf. Twilight owns the no. Up two, I hear y'all. That's not how physics works, but there are times where I make allowances for cartoon logic. We just saw her get hit in the head with an anvil and she's not dead. Be glad for that. I'm glad for that. I'm glad. So, here we are. We're at the end. They survived the Hydra. Funny enough, for all the Hydra's size and intimidation, I guess that's a gap too far. They can't just like step on over. Hi. Oh, wait, sorry. Foreheads. Hi.
The Hydra wasn't the doozy. How could it not be a doozy? What could be doozier than that? Dunno. It just wasn't it.
But they capture the imagination of so many people. And I still love this scene to this day.
Give what I'm trying. The fight. I can't fight it anymore. I don't understand how, why, or what. But Pinkie said somehow makes sense. I don't see how it does, but it just does. Just because I don't understand doesn't mean it's not true.
Wow. Anyone have a pinata bag? Oh my God, you do! I appreciate that, but if I took a swing at the screen, I'm pretty sure the AV crowd would tackle me. But here's the thing, well, we have this rather bizarre image of Pinkie accepted. Consider what Twilight's just done. She's let go of this idea that I am linked to being right, that if I admit I'm wrong, or if I can't prove why, I'm somehow diminished. She's let go of that. She gave up the fight. And here's the thing, is she less of a pony? Is she less relatable or heroic because she couldn't explain it? Nope. So here she is. She's actually taking a step towards being effective. She doesn't have to answer the question, but you can accept that it's there, and that's actually going to come into play later in the series. But meanwhile, Pinkie, you need to lose a few pounds.
No, it's mostly
I'm happy to report that I now realize there are wonderful things in this world you just can't explain, but that doesn't necessarily make them any less true. It just means you have to choose to believe in them, and sometimes it takes a friend to show you the way. Twilight's right.
Now, okay, isn't that another global image? I mean, indeed. Oh my gosh, you're right. There's another verse for the series. That first book. Now the Pinkie sings Rocky Bottom. That's not really a big deal. Looping. so much. And I discovered something new. Here I am, 8 seasons later, and I'm still realizing something new thanks to interacting with other fans. This is the fun. So if anyone's worried about this fandom dying after season 9, look at what we're doing with season 1 still. It's gonna keep going, don't worry. But then there's, of course, one final scene. We're back at Holy again. Okay. Now, there's 2 things I'm wondering right now. First off, you hear that streak as Celestia comes down with a pretty heavy impact. How much does she weigh? But if she's had too much cake, how strong are those wings to lift her back up? I like that never skip wing day. Rainbow Dash readers. But this leads us back. We're going to complete the 4 stages of acceptance. Because Haldane has the 4th point, I have always said so. And that sounds pretty cynical, right? It sounds a little cynical. Oh, that liar, that baker, they've always said so, Shaw. But here's the thing, sometimes when you accept an idea, it's hard to remember a time you fought against it, because now you've integrated it into yourself. It makes a sort of sense. It brings a hand to the audience. Oh, yeah. And okay, hand.
I just wanted to add, earlier we were talking about her accepting it. Well, one of the big things that she said at the end there was, even though she doesn't understand, it's still true. And I think that it kind of, for me, it reminds me that with science, we want to understand, but truthfully, it's just about what works, what just shows to be true. So she gave up on that. Just wanted to...
And that is true, because as I understand, I have a very limited understanding in this regard. There are several laws of physics being broken right now, as we're here in this room. Well, ponies break our hearts and reality at the same time. So. But no, I'm talking about like, there are supposedly particles exiting our galactic plane at the wrong angle. They shouldn't be able to go that way again. They go. And when I think laws of physics, I think the universe is going to break if you violate them. But no, something's working. We don't know what, but it is. Quantum mechanics versus astrophysics. I can say words too, onomatopoeia. Oh, that's got to be a bitter blow. When Einstein doesn't like your field of studies, Senpai doesn't like my studies.
Only true when it hasn't been broken. When it's disproven, that's only when it's considered true because it's never been disproven. The moment something defies the law of gravity ceases to be a scientific law.
Oh, there you go. So we have an incomplete resource. But when I said that Twilight has moved, when Twilight has moved to accept this, and I've always said so, when she's integrated this into herself, look at how this benefited her later on in the series.
But I have a total think you wouldn't have been called unless you were the perfect ponies for the job.
I bet you thought that clip from The Sound of Silence was just familiar. You know, Crystal Mountains, Froggy Mountain Bog, all that good stuff. No, I was leaning back into this. My review has wheels within wheels, so I tell myself. But that's the thing. When Twilight inherited this map, when she grew as a character and stopped limiting herself to what was outside, took some confidence from within, suddenly she could advocate, yes, the map shows you, I don't know why, I don't know what's going to happen, but I trust that this works, this is real. Something about this makes sense. And in doing so, she demonstrated a lot of growth. That necessarily she doesn't believe in strictly a higher power or arbitrary divine law, but that things happen, I don't know why, but I can roll with it, accept it, and I'm not diminished if I say that. I think that's the big thing to take away from this, that as Stephen Fry said, we prefer to be right than to be effective. We're afraid if we're not right, we're less. We're diminished. We're unworthy. And that's not true. But it's one of the best, most free things to say, I don't know. I don't know, why do you like this show? Sometimes it's okay to say, I don't know. You can explore it later, but it's okay to say, something just appeals to me. When's the next after the fact going to be out? I don't know. Oh, what? Nope, never, never. It's never, never. It's going to be out there. Hello?
By the way, the medication then tend to rush and have it be a complete mess.
Oh, I appreciate that. But self-deprecation, no. Oh, now you're just throwing fire shots. But anyway, so my thoughts on feeling Pinkie Keen, it dips a little too far into punishing the skeptic, i.e. Twilight, maybe making her a little too hostile at the beginning, because we start to feel like she's confrontational rather than a voice for our own skepticism. But it rallies so well. It presents this dilemma of being right versus being effective and explores it, helps Twilight grow, and it has impact throughout the series. And it has so many firsts, so many great visuals. Yeah, I think it's a wonderful episode. And it continues on. Now, we've got a little under 10 minutes left. So I'd like to try and answer as many questions as possible, and I'm just going to run through the audience. Hello.
What do you plan to do with the Hydra?
Well, I've befriended every other creature. Well, actually, it was in my Good, the Bad, the Wonders video. I did try to pull the Hydra on the painted while dealing with Twilight and Friends. It stepped on me.
Probably if Twilight had wings, when she was controlled from the camera, she would be
There we go. There's the real reason Twilight got rings. Larson was afraid she'd have to face a Hydra again. We cracked the code, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
I'd like to add about the waterfall. It could also be the sort of like other choice.
In answer to the butterfly effect, the butterfly effect is unintended consequences. So Twilight can't choose to initiate the butterfly effect. Also, that's probably Fluttershy's story.
Also, if you guys didn't see it, when Starlight Glimmer was at the end of season 5, she was sitting, when Twilight came in and found Starlight Glimmer in the front room, she was sitting in Fluttershy's chair. Butterfly effect. You guys think I should be a reviewer?
Although, you might want to work on your, I don't know if Zero's a good screen name, they're going to think you're a Mega Man reviewer.
No. Here's the thing on Zero. This is like super weird. So my real name is Ray, so that means my nickname is Ray. Now, Ray, if you remember from Evangelion, right? Unit 0? Ray is the ancient Japanese way of saying zero. Be next.
Well, we got a little extra anime education in there. Yeah, let's see, where did I go? Oh, somebody has it.
Okay. How sad would it be if, let's say, someone of a scientific mind, I'm not naming names, maybe me, calculated how viscous the water would have to be to have enough energy to pop her right back up, rather than just simply popping it out of the water?
You would be on par with VR, the same girl who's an incredibly intelligent person, and so there's nothing sad about that at all. But I'd also recommend that you go down to see VR, the same girl, and talk about that. She's in the Minion Hall as well. Oh man, so I've got less than 5 minutes and there's a lot of hands. I want to skip the sections. I'm sorry.
Okay, so what's the latest on the letting the ship?
Oh, well, I'm past the shipping phase for the moment. I'm going to give that a break. Instead, I'm throwing the magic car back. Yes, I have a grid down there where I'm basically using her as an evolution base. Lucy base.
That's one question for you. I just want to say thank you for so many years of so much amazing entertainment for your suffering. Okay, awesome.
I want to make sure I talk to someone in this section, and I see holding up a Twilight, which is a great indicator.
First off, amazing job here, and speaking to everybody else here as an outsider and a newbie as well, thank you to everyone that are accepting this weekend. Everyone, thank you. Secondly, perhaps I can say this correctly, maybe the Corey Hopkins Razors theory, license episode of the simplest answer, is perhaps the correct answer that Pinkie's just a real simple being.
Well, that is the thing, but Occam's razor is just a little different. It's what course asks you to ask the least amount of assumptions. The fewer assumptions, the better way it is. It's not necessarily the simplest, but it's the one where you have the most concrete facts. But it's, sometimes the simplest answer is the best. I'll be right, but yeah, I did promise.
About the stages of acceptance, do you think that not only are they applicable to the stages of acceptance, but everything else is acceptance?
You mean like the idea that a male audience is gathered for a children's cartoon? Of course, this is utter nonsense and ridiculous. Okay, maybe there's something about it, but it has a slightly reverse point of view. I'm sorry, what? No, this is true, but quite unimportant. Yeah, bronies are cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've been through this process. Everyone, I've got barely a minute. I'm afraid this will be our last question.
The first time you heard Pinkie say that Gummy had no teeth, what was your first reaction? Mine was, oh my God, did she actually pull his teeth out?
Honestly, I was just like, oh, Gumby, I get it now. That's better than Gumby, but that is a question. Where did the teeth go? Wait, okay, Sweetie Blue. Right. Sweetie Blue is studying in animals, and maybe you can answer some questions. Are alligators like sharks in that they can perpetually regrow teeth?
Well, they're similar to most reptiles, but they're pulled, they don't grow back. I think they have baby teeth when they're very young, possibly. I'd have to look that up for sure. But yeah, if they're pulled like permanent teeth from the roots, then they will grow back.
Well, actually, Pinkie called him a baby alligator. He might can grow adult teeth still.
See, I'd have to look that up to be certain.
So it's possible. So don't let those bitey sessions last too much longer. There are some mysteries best left in time. Everyone, I'm going to move to the far end in an area where we won't be in the line of traffic, and I'd be happy to talk about this more and answer more questions. But thank you for coming and enjoy it.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notified of new videos uploaded to this channel.